Welcome back, DoomTubers, to another game discussion. Today we are talking about the one and only, the magnificent Bioshock. Now, if you followed my channel for a while now, you know that the first time I played this game, I was really excited to get this game. I actually got this one and Bioshock 2 on a pretty good local deal, like a Facebook kind of thing, where I went and met somebody, picked up the games for like $10 each. I was really excited. And because, several, if not most of my friends here on YouTube are really into this series, and they just kept saying, you really got to play this game, you really got to play this game. So I was pretty stoked, really excited, really hyped up to play it. And first time I put it in, I played it. I played for several sessions, never like overly long sessions, but 6 or 7 times, 5 or 6 times, and little spurts, and I just wasn't interested. Like, I don't know. It wasn't that it was overly hard, because it wasn't. I just didn't get it, and I don't know. I really didn't see the beauty that everyone talks about in this game, and just the overall atmosphere seemed kind of dull to me at first, and I don't know, I just really wasn't that interested. So I put it down after about halfway through, and I just never went back to it for a long time. And then my PlayStation 3 memory got wiped out, which was probably the best thing that could have happened for me for this game, because of that, and I had intentions of restarting it, especially after I played Singularity, and a lot of the similarities, the things I really liked about Singularity were elements that were also kind of present in Bioshock to some degree. And so I had made the commitment, okay, I'm going to go back and restart this game, and I'm glad that I had to restart from the beginning, because this time I had a fresh, new start on it and was able to pay attention to more things and get into it. And I tell you what, there's a couple of things that I think made a big difference, and I think I might have mentioned these in my last video. But for one, I'm playing on a smaller television here in the game room. My television here in the game room is only like a 20-inch TV, and before, my PlayStation 3 was actually in the living room downstairs, on the big 46-inch, I think is what it is. So it was kind of a bigger, and the sound on that TV kind of sucked. And also this time, I played with a headset, so I was able to hear everything. This is a very good quality headset. It's actually my brother-in-law's Turtle Beach headset. He let me borrow it because he's not using it, because I guess it won't work with his Xbox One, which he just got. So he said I could just use it. So, okay. And it works great with my PlayStation 3 and my 360. So I took full advantage of that, and, just really, really good sound quality. And I was able to hear all these little ambient sounds and everything about Rapture. And I was actually, since I was closer to the television, like, I can't see very well. I wear glasses, but even at long distances, I just can't read that well. I don't know why, or read and see things really clearly. I don't know why it is. And also, I have a really bad night vision too. Like, so if things are really dark on the screen, I don't know. I just can't do it. I always crank my brightness on my TV way up because I just can't see that well. But I'm alright with that. I've come to terms with that. But for this game, and for a lot of games like this, I think it's going to be way more beneficial for me to play at a much closer distance, like this in this game room. And so I think that because of the visuals, the visual difference for me, the sound difference for me, and just kind of coming into it a little bit more, kind of expecting less hype, and coming off of playing games like Singularity, which had several similarities. It's not identical. It's far from identical. And I was a little bit more motivated and less hyped, if that makes sense. So I came into this game with a fresh start, and I tell you what, from the beginning to the end of the game, it was absolutely brilliant. I don't know why I didn't think so last time, but this time it just worked. It just clicked. And this is a freaking brilliant game. I don't feel like I should have to go into a lot of details about story and stuff like that because, it's hard to talk about story parts of this game and not give away a lot of spoilers. I will say though that you're one of the accomplishments that I'm pretty proud of is that you're supposed to kind of harvest Atom, which is it's basically like the energy that gives you different your physical upgrades and things like that. It allows you to use the plasmids and things like that, those special powers that you have, and you can upgrade your how much health you have, how much Eve you can carry, and into different attributes, for your different plasmids, your different abilities like telekinesis and the shockwave thing and the fire and all these different things. You gain Atom from these little sisters who are guarded by the big daddies to use to upgrade so you can get strong enough to face to make it through Rapture alive. Because as you progress, like as games should, the enemies get stronger and have better defense and are just a little bit smarter maybe than they were in the beginning of the game. So that's your goal, is to harvest Atom from these little sisters, and you have an option. This may be a mini spoiler. Not really. It's not really going to compromise anything integrity of the game. But you have a choice. When you kill the Big Daddy, you have a choice to either harvest all Atom from the little sister, which kills her, or you rescue her so she lives, and she's delivered from, whatever yellow thing, and also you get less Atom. So one of my prouder moments in this game was when I got the trophy. I rescued all of the little sisters. Like I didn't kill any of them, and I didn't miss any of them. So that was one of my my prouder moments of the game. And I'm sure people were like, "Well, I did that too." It's like, well, okay, that's awesome. I was really, really happy to get that achievement or trophy in this case. So yeah, it was really cool. And then in doing so, I think obviously depending on how you handle that situation, whether I'm sure there's several different endings. If you killed all of them, then I'm sure you got a different ending than the one I got. So I won't go into any more details about that. But I think that I got the good ending. I don't know. I'm gonna kind of maybe look into some of the other endings and see, because I think in order to get different endings, that you have to play through the entire game a certain way. So I'm sure there's one for an ending for killing all of the little sisters, or killing some of them, or whatever. I'm sure that there's different endings in this game, because it would make sense if there was. And if there's not, well, then that's weird. Just because based on the ending that I got, it's weird that if I killed them all, if I would get the same ending. But anyhow, I loved the combat in this game, and that's one of the things I didn't like before, because especially early on in the game, it really relies heavily on the kind of combo fighting. But I did a little bit in Singularity also, which is kind of what kind of hyped me to get back into this game, is because you have these plasmid powers, and the one that I found the most useful, of course, was the electric shock one, until you get the freeze one a little bit later, which essentially they do kind of the same thing. The shock one will stun them so they can't move, and then you can pull out your wrench and just kill them right there. And then the freeze one will do essentially the same thing, but what's good about the freeze one is like you hit them once and they shatter everywhere. So that's pretty cool. But there's different plasmids too. There was one where you could like summon bees and attack the splicers with bee splicers of the enemies, and telekinesis, like where they were throwing, like there's nitro splicers, I think what it's called, throws these like flame bombs, not Molotov cocktail kind of things at you, and if you had the telekinesis plasmid equipped, you could grab that in midair and then throw it back at them, which is once again, it's not a new concept. That was present in Singularity and Red Faction Armageddon, which I keep bringing those three games up. And while those games are really different from each other, they share a lot of the combat things that I really, really enjoy. So that's why I keep kind of bringing them together, because I know that they're not the same games. And let's see, some other plasmids. I mean, there's the Incinerate, and then but you can also, like, as you gain Atom and you upgrade your your attributes, you both unlock more plasmid slots, so you can carry a different variety of plasmids with you, and then you can also upgrade them too. There's Electro Ball, I think it's what it's called, Electro Ball 1, 2, and 3, and then Incinerate 1, 2, and 3. And upgrade them all. So they're more powerful. And if you don't upgrade them, it becomes problematic because, like I said, as you progress through the game, the enemies get harder, so your plasmids need to be upgraded to compensate for that. Anyway, so once you get used to the kind of plasmid wrench combo, early on in the game, you start to find more ammo, and as you go, you also collect money that's just laying around. You loot everything, and I think that's another reason I like it, because I kind of like looting kind of games. You loot everything from money and food and health and ammunition, and as you gain money, there's vending machines throughout Rapture that you can buy ammunition or buy health packs and stuff like that, and so that was nice. So finally, when you get a good stockpile of ammunition, which is kind of what I did this time, then you can kind of start using your guns. Because that's the first time I played, I relied so much on ammunition, and I was always out of ammo. Always. And it sucked, because I never got used to the plasmid wrench. I just wanted to shoot things. And, yeah, this time I just didn't. I didn't pull out guns for a long time in this game, considering, how much I played the first time, and then I kind of restarted with a brand new, basically, rule set for myself. It's like, okay, I'm going to get used to this plasmid wrench thing. And you can even upgrade your wrench, too. Like, there was physical combat upgrades, too, that, you could make your wrench freeze them. So when you hit them with your wrench, it had the same effect as the freeze plasmid, which was kind of nice. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling on, and I feel like I'm gushing about the game, and I just finished it last night. I would have done a video about it last night, but it was about 3:30 in the morning, and I wasn't tired. I really wasn't tired. Actually, I was wired. I had a lot of coffee throughout the day yesterday. Probably had like 2 pots of coffee throughout the day, and yeah, I was just wired, and so I had to make myself go lay down and go to bed. And I lay there for 20, 30 minutes, just thinking about it. So I probably should have just done a video last night. But so I had a little time to think about it, and yeah, I mean it's just a really brilliant game. And I know I haven't gone into like a ton of detail about a lot of things other than some of the combat elements, but quite frankly, I mean those were my favorite things. And I really love the story, too. The story is brilliant, but I can't say anything about the story because it's just really one of those stories that you really should just experience. It's just hard to talk about story parts of Bioshock and not ruin things. So, if you're unfamiliar with Bioshock, which I'm sure that most of you are not unfamiliar with Bioshock, you can check out somebody else's review or just watch some gameplay footage or play the game, because I don't want to be that guy that ruins the story. It's hard. I'm really considering talking about combat and stuff. Spoilers, which is basically all I talked about. I love first-person shooters, and I'm really starting to enjoy these almost RPG kind of first-person shooters, and there's several of them right now that I don't want to call them RPGs, but I also don't want to call them just simply first-person shooters, because there is so much more to them than just first-person shooter, just Call of Duty. And I like Call of Duty, I'm not going to lie. I do play them. But to put a game like Bioshock in the same category as Call of Duty just because they're both first-person shooters is kind of insulting to both games, really, because they're really nothing alike. Nothing. And, yeah, it's just incredible. So now I'm at a crossroads, and I've kind of talked to this with the guys a little bit in the chat. You know, it's, where do I go from here? And I know right now, Bioshock Infinite is actually on PlayStation Plus for free. So if you have PS Plus and you haven't got Bioshock Infinite yet, I imagine you probably want to get that. I don't have PlayStation Plus. I really want PlayStation Plus, but I can't afford it right now, and that's fine. Because I'm not ready to play Infinite right now anyway, but I mean, if I could get PlayStation Plus and get Infinite and a bunch of other games, you know, just for the the cost of PlayStation Plus, that would be awesome. But so I'm not worried about that for right now. I'm not worried about getting Infinite. I'm sure it'll be around when I'm ready to play for it, or pay for it to play it. Because I've got tons of other games. You know, I've got, you know, a backlog of games, and, you know, not even a third of these games are beaten. So I mean, I've got tons to do. And but like I said, I'm kind of at a crossroads because I do really want to go finish The Last of Us, which would probably be what I end up doing, just because I think I'm pretty close to halfway through that game, and yeah, I imagine that I will finish it because it is a great game. And I'm like I said, I really want to put Bioshock 2 in because I have it. I have Bioshock 2. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I got both of them the same day. You know, Bioshock 1 and Bioshock 2. So I really want to put this in. But I'm also not sure yet. And Dustin kind of said that, you know, that I should wait so I miss Rapture. And because both of these games take place in Rapture, I guess. I don't know anything about this game. All I do know about this game is that a lot of people really, I don't know if there's anybody that truly hates this game compared to this one, but there's just not as much love for this one as there is for this one, and maybe it's just because it's kind of more of the same, and that this one was the first one. I don't know, but I tell you what, there's a lot of praise about Infinite. And there's a lot of people that play Infinite and say that maybe not quite as good as this one, but right up there. And certainly most people say that it's better than this one. But I don't know. I won't judge. I will not. So Bioshock 2 probably coming up after Last of Us, if I don't decide to dive into something else. Because once again, I know it's not the exact same kind of game, but I'm told that I should really play this one too, if I'm kind of in that first-person shooter with just a little more kind of mode. I hear that this game is really great. My brother-in-law, both of my brother-in-laws actually played this. One of them is playing it right now, actually, and the other one finished it this past year, and really says that I should really get on this. But who knows? Because I think this is a little bit more of commitment than the Bioshock games, because they're both reasonably short. I really don't know. I can't put a timestamp on Bioshock 1 because the game doesn't have an in-game clock, and I didn't keep track, you know, because I don't care that much. I mean, I'd like to know, but I would have never remembered to, you know, start a stopwatch or something like that to keep track of my time. And there was a lot of times, even last night playing, I would play for, I don't know, maybe an hour or so, and I would kind of get to kind of a calm moment, and I would pause it. Not turn it off, just pause it, and kind of do other things. You know, I would get on the computer, watch a few YouTube videos, or, you know, go get a drink, or do something. I would just do other things for a half an hour or 45 minutes. And then I would kind of sit back and decide, okay, I'm gonna start playing again. I did this not intentionally. This is just kind of what happened. I kind of let things soak a little bit, and I I think that really helped too. I didn't just blast through a game, even though I did beat it in probably, just 3 or 4 sessions. But I really did take my time with it. Even saying that, I explored a lot of Rapture. I explored a lot. I wouldn't say that I explored 100%, but there wasn't very many little nooks and crannies that I didn't go look to see if there was an audio log or ammunition or something. I listened to tons of audio logs. I don't know how many. I don't know if there's a way to tell how many I picked up and listened to, but I listened to a ton. And that is like another aspect of a lot of games that I'm really enjoying lately. What is it? Halo 3 ODST had audio logs. Loved it. Singularity had audio logs. I loved it. It added so much to the game, especially ODST. That was incredible. I really wish that I would have gone back and listened to more of those audio logs to kind of see what, how that story arc kind of ended up, because in that game the story arc for the audio logs was different than what was going on in the game. So whereas Bioshock, it was just different people in Rapture, talking about Andrew Ryan or somebody else, or talking about what kind of went on, that really it went on in the area that you were in and things like that. So it's just, the audio logs just really add a lot to the game, whatever game it is you're playing. Really, I really like that aspect. So I feel like I've gushed long enough. This video is now 21.5 minutes long. All I can say is I am kicking myself for not enjoying this game so much the first time, but I just wasn't ready yet. I truly believe that. I just wasn't ready for it yet. I came into it expecting it to be a run-of-the-mill first-person shooter, and it is anything but. So if you're interested, I do know this game is not as cheap as some other games, that came out around the same time. You're probably going to spend, I don't know. I really don't, because I bought mine for 10 used from somebody locally. I want to say probably 15 to 20 bucks for both of these games. I really don't know, though. I didn't do any research. So you can do your own research. Amazon, eBay, GameStop, whatever. Check these games out because they're effing awesome. Well, I don't know about this. I don't know if this one's awesome, but this one is. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Another Gaming Podcast on Facebook, and also here on YouTube. Come check out our podcast with our last episode clocking in at something like 5 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. Mike Aerodynamics was our last guest, and he was a fantastic guest, and we talked a lot. Normally the podcasts aren't that long, but that one was. So check us out. Check me out on Twitter if you want to. I have one of those also. And whatever. Thanks for watching. Doomwaves out.